Atul Aneja, Foreign Affairs expert, is joining us to get us more on the visit of Prime Minister Modi to Ghana. Sir, thank you so much for joining us on DD India News Hour.
You're
This is
welcome.
the first visit by an Indian Prime Minister to Ghana in over 30 years. Help us understand the significance of this visit. As we saw, Prime Minister Modi's visit was steeped in symbolism, powerful quotes and warm gestures. This underscored the deep-rooted friendship between the two nations, isn't it?
Yes, Preeti, indeed, this is a very deep-rooted relationship. And India was a partner of Ghana during its freedom struggle. The founding father of Ghana, Kwame Nkrumah, and Indian Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru, they were fellow comrades in the decolonization of Africa and also in the non-aligned movement. So that relationship is a very special relationship which had implications not just for India-Ghana relations, but also for the entire African continent, which was undergoing its liberation struggle in the 60s. There is that deep-rootedness about the relationship. I think now what's happening is that we are building on that deep-rooted relationship. We are taking it into the 21st century, into the digital age, and that's where it's extremely significant, Prime Minister's visit to Ghana, because it's sort of revival of the special relationship which we had, and we can already see that it's a comprehensive relationship that has been forged between the two countries, which means also joint commissions being formed, which
Yes.
is a 360-degree engagement with Ghana, but also a signal, Preeti, to the global South and especially to Africa of
Yes.
India's commitment to the continent. If you recall, during the G20 summit which India hosted, it was on India's initiative that we have 56 countries of the African Union
African Union.
becoming part of of the G20, or make it
Yes.
G21. So we have to look at this in a broader perspective, which is just not a bilateral relationship, but a message of India's deep commitment to the African continent as a whole and to the global South.
Yes, we'll talk about it in detail also, sir. But then the relationship between the two countries, the bilateral relationship as we talk, 4 MOUs were signed during Prime Minister's visit, and also the bilateral relationship has been elevated to comprehensive partnership. For the benefit of our viewers, help us understand what does it mean for two nations to elevate the bilateral relationship to a comprehensive partnership?
Well, Preeti, comprehensive partnership means that you are fully engaged in all spheres of your interaction, of your relationship between India and Ghana, which would mean that there is no sphere which is outside it. So from foreign affairs to the economic to the cultural, you are sort of the relationship will look at all these dimensions, people to people, exceptionally important. Tourism will come into it. So there is no sphere which is left out, no sphere of engagement which is left out. So it's no longer a segmented relationship, but a comprehensive relationship, which by definition means that you have elevated the relationship to a much higher level and also institutionalized it. And that's important because you're going to have a joint commission now being formed between the two, which will sort of look at each sector and have a roadmap of developing each of those areas which are part of the relationship. So I think this is a level up between India and Ghana, and it opens scope for much bigger and much more substantial cooperation between the two. Some areas have been flagged off, like Ayurveda, medicines. But India is a pharmacy of the world, and the world came to know about it since COVID. So pharmaceutical, I'm sure, would be one of the very major areas, as would be other. India's digital public infrastructure, I doubt whether that will be left out of the basket of collaboration which we're going to build with Ghana.
Yes, indeed. The Prime Minister was also awarded with the highest honor in Ghana. And added to that, also the way the Prime Minister received the welcome there, it speaks volumes of the deep diplomatic respect which the Prime Minister, enjoys when we talk of the world stage. And also, under his leadership, what is your evaluation of how the image of the country has changed on the world stage, has changed on the global page?
Preeti, you are right. You see, there was a time when we started off very well with Africa. We were part of the Pan-African Unit, but then we somewhere seem to have lost our way. But Prime Minister's special focus on Africa, I think that is where the relationship with Africa has now once again has been rekindled, and very, very substantially. And not only rekindled, it's been given a new direction altogether under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi. And that's what, whether it's South Africa, whether it's Rwanda, whether it's Kenya, you see that various Nigeria, there are various nodes, pivotal states of Africa which India is engaging with. And when you take it all together, it means that it's that special elevated relationship. And as I said, the G20 meeting was symbolized that when we engaged with the entire 56 nations of Africa and made them part of the helped make them part of the G20. So it's a new imagination towards Africa, I would say,
All
which
right.
is under Prime Minister Modi, where they are an essential pole of the multipolar world. I think that is where the
Yes.
recognition conceptually has come in, that Africa cannot be neglected. It's a major pole of the international world, and it is a continent of the future. It is also a continent of great resources. And as India goes up into new economy, into the industry 4.0, the need for your critical minerals comes into the picture. I think all those things, and most importantly, Preeti, is the unique people-to-people connect which India has with Africa.
Yes.
And no other country has it. I mean, I was recently in Russia and in China, both countries, and we in our discussion we talked about Africa, and they recognized that India has a special sort of a lead into Africa, which is its diaspora and the historical relationship which we have had with them, which is unique.
Yes.
And I think the Prime Minister is leveraging all these particular attributes of India's special relationship with Africa and taking in the multipolar era, taking this relationship to a much higher level.
All right, sir, that was about India's engagement with the African continent. I would want you to elaborate more on this in the sense that Prime Minister's 5-nation visit comes at a time when the world is witnessing 2 wars, when we see a change in the world order, when we see, changes in the geopolitical situation. Put all this together, would you say it is now time for the global South to be recognized on the global page? The way the world is shaping now, to what extent can this be taken as an opportunity for India's engagement with the African continent at present?
Preeti, just look at the contrast. You talked about conflicts. One is Ukraine, one is the Middle East. So, and those conflicts are threatening actually a third world war. But contrast that with the positive messaging which India is taking by its engagement with the global South, and symbolized by this visit to Ghana. That the global South is the engine of hope. And contrast that to the conflicts which are taking place in the rest of the world. So that particular contrast, that particular hope and optimism, I think that comes through. That as the global system evolves, the time has come for global South to play its due role in running
Yes.
in framing the rules of the global system, because other ideas, old ideas, are no longer working. And they're leading to conflicts. We need new ideas. We need a new vision to rescue, in a way, the
All
world,
right. So we need a
which can be
new
threatening to
idea.
a
We
world
need
war.
a new vision. On that note, we'll end this conversation here. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us on DD India News Hour this afternoon.
You're welcome.
So that was Mr. Atul Aneja. He is foreign affairs expert, and he put into perspective for us how important this visit is of Prime Minister Modi to Ghana.